26 judicial candidates tied to drug gangs and abuse. Chapter 1. The effects of the quick reforms. The very base of Mexico's justice system was shaken by a reform that doesn't look out for the good of the people and their rights. In early May 2025, a huge scandal broke out. It cast a dark shadow over the upcoming judicial elections. News came out that, thanks to research by everyday people, there are at least 26 candidates nominated for judge positions who have questionable pasts. The reasons were very worrying. They ranged from supposed direct ties to organized crime, like parts of known drug cartels, and connections to a cult involved in human trafficking, all the way to serious accusations of bad personal behavior, including sexual abuse. This wasn't just a small problem with paperwork. It was a shocking reveal of how crime might have gotten into the highest levels of the justice system. From the committees put together to check backgrounds, there's clear corruption. This is making people all over the country very worried. The request to disqualify these candidates, made by the citizens group Defenders X through a legal challenge, was put on hold. And this shows a big weakness in the system. There's a clear sign that political parties and drug traffickers have been getting their way since the reform started. For example, there's the candidate Silvia Delgado Garcia, who was a lawyer for El Chapo, a major drug lord. Her campaign has gotten a lot of attention. Many candidates with good records who used to work in the old judicial system haven't gotten much support. In some cases, they've even been threatened to drop out of the race. It's clear there was no interest in making the judicial system better. The main goal was always to get people in who would go along with what politicians and criminals wanted, forgetting about justice or the people. Some even had active arrest warrants out for them. How serious these accusations are suggested a big failure in the first steps of picking candidates by the groups in charge. This raises urgent questions about how these kinds of people could have gotten so far in the selection process for these important jobs. These nominations didn't come from just one place. Instead, they came from different parts of the government. The current executive branch, like the president's office, was responsible for nominating 17 of the questioned candidates. That's a worryingly high number. Most of the suggestions came from the executive branch. This makes it clear that the goal wasn't to get rid of corruption in the system, but to use a reform to bring in their own influences. The legislative branch, like Congress, proposed 6 of these individuals. This spread of problematic nominations suggests that the problem of poor background checks and questionable judgment wasn't just in one specific group, but was more widespread. According to international legal experts, it's clear the current government's reform has harmed the protection of human rights. The right to justice for vulnerable groups and the general public is being damaged beyond repair. Chapter 2. Candidates with questionable pasts. The fact that a shocking 17 out of 26 judge candidates under review were proposed by the executive branch, the presidency, immediately raised serious concerns that this showed the worst problems in Mexico: corruption, giving jobs to family, giving jobs to friends, and using influence in the most forceful way. In the worst-case scenario, it hinted that some people in the executive branch wanted to push forward people with shady pasts, or even criminals. This, of course, makes you wonder about the reasons for these nominations and the possible unfair influence on the justice system. It's even more concerning when there are flyers being handed out with official government stamps, telling citizens who they should vote for. Another one of the most alarming cases from the executive branch was Arturo Cesar Morales Ramirez. He was a candidate for an administrative judge position in Mexico City, a job that requires a clean legal record and ethical behavior. But according to reports, Morales Ramirez is accused of having ties to organized crime and has an active arrest warrant waiting to be carried out. For the executive branch to nominate someone wanted by the law for such a serious crime isn't just a simple mistake. And it's not the first time the Morena Party has protected people with immunity, as long as they serve their interests, no matter their criminal connections. Another worrying nomination from the executive branch was Jesus Karina Almada Rabago, a candidate for a general judge position in Mexico City. People asked for her to be disqualified because she used to be a lawyer for a well-known drug trafficker from the Sinaloa cartel, but she's still in the election race. This trafficker, according to reports, faced charges for organized crime, kidnapping, drug crimes, and having military-grade weapons. Even though everyone has the right to a lawyer, nominating a lawyer so closely tied to a drug kingpin for a judge position raised serious questions about conflicts of interest, whether she could be fair, and public trust. Similarly, Maria de Jesus Lopez Guzman, nominated by the executive branch for a criminal judge position in Chiapas, was questioned about her professional past. She had defended someone tied to organized crime in a kidnapping case. Just like with Almada Rabago, the question wasn't about the right to a defense, but about the judgment of nominating someone with such well-known ties to the underworld for a job that's supposed to fight it. These nominations painted a worrying picture, a selection process that seemed to purposefully ignore serious warnings about the candidates' connections and whether they were fit for a judicial job. Follow us for part 2, and don't forget to share.